Good morning, Paulsicans. How are we doing today, man? My camera is blurry. Let me see if I can fix this. There we go. How are we doing out there in crypto land today? We are doing an early show today because I'm going to go touch some more grass. Man, it is doing it again. There we go. I might need a new webcam, guys. Yeah, we are coming to you early today because I'm going to get out to a beach party that's happening today in Puerto Rico. It's going to be an absolute blast because we're going to be a lot of crypto people there too. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, guys, what's going on? This is going to be your show today, guys, where we're going to be talking about how we use cryptocurrency as that wealth creation tool and then use real estate as a wealth preservation tool. These are just tools in our tool belt, right? And we want to be able to use these tools through our journey to wealth. And we're going to take as many of you guys, our family members, our closest friends on this ride of a lifetime where we're going to be creating legacy wealth, where we're going to change the trajectory of our family tree and break the curse of mediocrity through cryptocurrency. It's going to be so much fun, and we believe we're in the right place at the right time with you guys, the Richard Hart ecosystem, even with all the FUD out there going around. I believe we have made a new bottom. Of course, I've said that before, and I don't know crap, right? I'm not even a good chart guy. So, but I do like what I'm seeing overall in the sentiment. But other news, it's kind of interesting, is ETH is getting crushed. ETH is getting smashed with the ETF going live earlier this week. Very similar to a way Bitcoin got crushed too, right when the inflow started happening. I think Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken, dropped 20%, something in that range, before it started actually proceeding to go up. And I think ETH can do the exact same. And I think it took a month. Before I was thinking it was 2 weeks. I went back and looked at the data, and it was about a month that it took before it started really doing anything. And I think ETH can be the same. It's gonna be in the same boat, right? Like this is not going to go, as what we thought was going to be, straight moon mission. No. Grayscale decided that they wanted to bring over $1 billion of Ethereum and start dumping it. Like, that's what they started doing. Like, it's wild. Sami had caught it right the day before the Ethereum ETF went live. And sure enough, they did that. And I think they did that with Bitcoin too. I think they were dumping when Bitcoin went live, the ETS, and I think they bought back lower. I think their trade actually paid off. And I'm wondering if that's what they're doing this time around. Interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I am going to bring a couple great community members to the stage. We got Mr. Norbert out in the UK, always driving. He's always driving. He's at the gym. Like, he's always on a mission to do something, which is good. We want these kind of guys in our life. We got Frank Conversation. What's up, brother? We always have an amazing conversation when Frank's on the show. He's always got some great input. But guys, what is your thoughts of this Ethereum dump that we're seeing? I mean, like, it's insane. Why is Grayscale dumping all their Ethereum? What is it, because they're traders? Are they trying to buy back lower? What's your thoughts? Norbert, we'll start with you.
Yeah, it's a very valid point what you're saying. Since I became a trader, I see so much manipulation, making people do what they not necessarily wanted to do at the first place. And bigger players, market movers, market makers, who's got the ability to do those things, then they just use it for their advantages to move the market and then buy back lower or whatever. They don't really care, to be honest with you, because they're gonna make their money either way. Like, if it's not on this thing, then they do it on next thing. Like, why would they care?
Yeah, they're going to crush it regardless. You're absolutely right about that. I mean, the fees alone that they make is ridiculous. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see it. It just amazes me that big entities like that, they act like traders. Like, they're in there trying to crush the market so they can come back and buy lower. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
And the biggest thing I learned from a British gentleman who was on one of the podcasts recently on Word of Wisdom. He pretty much explained something similar I've been saying for a while. Big players, they couldn't care less about, fair value gaps and things like that. All they look at is ranges, like they look at
Makes
range. Where was the high? Where was the low? Plus, another thing is they look at the current market situation, and then they look at it like, is this price is a good price? Is it represent a good value right now with the current conditions? Doesn't matter what happened 4 years ago when Bitcoin was this and that, like those kind of things. Right now, when we're facing certain challenges or certain situations, this asset, does it make sense to pay this much for it within these conditions? And that's move the market way much more than any of these indicators and
no,
lines.
yeah.
Those
I
guys,
mean,
they're not sitting in rooms and putting lines on chart like, oh, look at it, it hit it there, it bounced them, and yeah, let's go long. No, they don't do that, man.
yeah, they have the power to kind of like, what's that saying that the market makers can, after the train leaves the station, they have the power to bring the train back, if you will, if they want, right? Like, and get the price that they want, or make a 20%, 40% on their money. It's amazing what they do, man. Yeah. What's your thoughts, Frank? What's going on, brother?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Always appreciate the show, you guys. Well, I watched something this morning. Donovan, DIY Investing, did a really nice video on the whole, dumping, etc. And I mean, I'm buying more. It's funny. I have that is one of the things I'm buying more of. I have an IRA, a SEP direct, an IRA, a separate IRA for kind of degenning, and that Ethereum ETF and the GBT ETF, or I'm sorry, the Ethereum grayscale is what I'm buying more of. So, I think it's a pretty good, a safe bet in my IRA for the short term.
Oh, I think it's a great bet for an IRA.
Yeah.
That's your long-term money.
Yeah. So the pullback it's pretty natural. He explained how it was very similar to what happened with Bitcoin, and then it took off. So, I went to lunch with a friend, who I've known for about 10 years. And I shared with him, and he said, well, it's almost at its top. And it was really, he doesn't look at charts and stuff. And I sent him that video this morning so he could understand, like, you're looking at it like it's at the top, but we're looking at it like it's pulling back and it's got another ceiling, So we're pretty creative here in crypto, where we can see, none of this is financial advice, and, it's nothing is certain, but again, the new person in crypto is looking at it. Wow, it's at its high. We're looking at it. Wow, there's resistance. It's going to break through. So that's kind of how I see this. And it's fun. I'm glad that I'm glad that I have a chunk that I can put in it right now.
You got a second opportunity right here for that long-term HODL, blue chip type asset, which is Ethereum. That's an amazing asset, I think, in any IRA or Roth or whatever you're doing for the long term, for the future, Frank, 10, 20, 30 years from now. What the heck is Ethereum going to be? It's not going away. I'll tell you that. This stuff is not going away. I mean, when Wall Street's buying it, like, this stuff is here to stay. Like, that's a great play, Frank. I love that, man.
Yeah, thanks. And the other thing too, Corey, is consider this. Like, in legacy, 9 to 12, 13% is a good return year over year. Well, since I started doing that in my IRA with both GBTC and ETH grayscale in 2020, I've 7x'd something, 700%, 500 to 700% in my IRA. Like, that's unheard of, So
yeah,
it's
crushing the game, bro. You're crushing the game.
Yep.
That's excellent, man. Yeah, I have a self-directed too, but my self-directed right now is all out on a real estate syndication. Right now, that's paying me pretty well. Pays around 18 to 20%. IRR, which is great, which is basically in crypto terms APY, right? And so like it's doing well for me, and that's the long term money, man. And if I had some left over that was not deployed, I would totally do what you just explained. I would totally deploy that strategy. That's an amazing strategy. I wish I wouldn't have went all in that syndication deal now. So I had some to deploy for that. That's great, man. Great insight. So what's up, Gingerbread Man? How you doing, bro? What's going on over there? What's your thoughts? You might be muted. I am unable to hear. Maybe your mic is
It's interesting. Sometimes when I'm on StreamYard has different connections, I think, than Zoom, or plugs in differently than Zoom, So sometimes I can't, I know how to do it now because I've been on your stream enough, but it's different for everybody.
It is, like, even the screen sharing, stuff like that, it's all different. Like, I get tripped up sometimes, like when I'm trying to share some charts. I'm like, okay, where do I go here? Okay, that's not like Zoom at all. But you get used to it like anything else. The great thing about StreamYard, and if you guys didn't know this, is that the video quality is one of the most pristine video qualities on all these different apps that we got and platforms, including Zoom. Like, if you go in here, record in StreamYard, it's some of the best video quality that you can produce if you're creating content, or maybe you're creating like a course or something. You could do that in StreamYard, and it's amazing. That's why streaming through it is great. This gets uploaded to YouTube at a very high definition. So yeah, what's going on, Gingerbread Man? Can you hear us yet? Are you live?
Echo. Ginger, echo, Ginger.
Well, while he's sorting it out, can I share a quick story?
For sure, man. Let's do it, bro.
I don't know how much it has to do with crypto, but maybe it's a portent of things to come. So last week I was in Vegas for a real estate seminar. Mike Ferry,
I know Mike Ferry.
Yep. 2,500 agents were out there. Really, really great. I mean, the guy's 78 years old, still going.
Crushing.
The content is awesome. I always get regrounded when I go there, back to the basics. And so I was supposed to leave on Friday, and my plane got canceled because of the whole computer glitch, And
your story. I love this story, man.
Yeah. So I'm like, wow, that sucks. I was ready to come home. I didn't want to be in Vegas anymore. And I had been,
that really.
Yeah, exactly. There's nowhere to go to just peace out. There's I'm at the pool, boom, 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 fucking all this music. You go through the casino, boom, boom, boom.
And when you're there with your family, it's like you get so exhausted. Like 2 days max is all my tolerance allows me in Vegas. Like, I don't gamble, I don't drink, and so it's like I like the buffets, I like seeing some shows, but then after that, it's like, okay, you send the kids in the roller coaster, and you're like, all right, it's time to go home.
Yeah. So I was ready to come home, and so my flight gets canceled. So I'm like, well, I'm spending the night here, because I looked up, I wasn't getting anywhere. So next day, I get another flight canceled. I book another one, canceled. A different airline, canceled. And then I just said, well,
because it's a computer problem that we just saw. The little okay.
Yeah. And I don't know whether I question some of it afterwards, whether or not it was because of the glitch or not, but it was tough. And then I finally said, fine, I'm good. I'll go home on Monday. I got a flight. And my wife has a client who lives in Las Vegas, and she was thinking, well, maybe they're coming to Chicago, And so she reached out, and thankfully she said, Frank, she goes, go meet them at 9:00 tomorrow morning. You're going to go home on a private jet. And I was like, that's cool. So I went home on a private jet, and it was really cool. And I say this because of crypto. Maybe it's a portent of things to come. maybe I'll just be, here in the future, the short future after the bull run, maybe I'll just be, flying private.
Well, and I think there's some more meaning to the story there. Like, with every winter follows a summer, and every summer there's a winter. You were kind of going through your winter there with your travels, right? And it was all like doom and gloom crap. I'm stuck in Vegas. It sucks ass. Like, I got to put up with all the partying. And then, like, out of the middle of nowhere, boom, here comes the summer. And you got yourself a jet, not only any jet, a private jet on the way home. And in crypto and any investing, that's what happens, man. You go through your ups and downs. You go through your summers and winters. And we're kind of in the lull right now, the bottom of the winter, right? Like, I don't know if it's gonna go any deeper. It could, right? Like, who knows what Ethereum could do from this point? And we're just leveraged on Ethereum. But I think we're a lot closer to the bottom with Ethereum than we are to the top. I think Grayscale, last time I checked, they only had 300 million out of the billion. And so eventually Ethereum's gonna hit a bottom, right? Like, and then like we're gonna probably coast sideways for a little bit, and then who knows? This is never financial advice, right? We're just dudes on the internet speculating on our own money, right? Go buy stocks and bonds. How Tommy always said. Talk to a financial advisor, see how that works out. And
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can, Gingerbread Man. What is up, brother?
Hey, man, my headphones are being all weird, so we just got to go old school with the phone here. But yeah, a couple different thoughts. I'm gonna share a little story, actually. Story time. So, big time sports fan. We're gonna go with a little sports analogy. Once upon a time, there was a football team that was middle of the road, pretty good. Quarterback gets injured. In comes the rookie from Michigan, slowest 40-yard dash in the entire draft that year, leads them to a win, never looks back. His name is Tom Brady. They hated him initially, but now he's likely the greatest football player ever, certainly quarterback ever, at least up to this point. And I kind of feel like that's what the Ethereum ETF is there's this initial sort of like it's exciting, and then it gets rocked and killed down, but then it comes back roaring with a vengeance, and it's going to be the real true winner that's going to lead everything forward. And then, of course, that transitions into championships and glory and all sorts of fun things on the back end. And golly, it just feels like that, similar to what Frank said. Like, this is exactly what happened to Bitcoin. ETF is passed. There's the big sell the news event. And then, holy cow, you get your weekends out and it's off to the races, all-time new highs and all sorts of things. So that I'm expecting, honestly, more of the same. And I couldn't be more bullish than I have. I'm telling you, I'm waking up feeling like it's Christmas every single day. Like, yeah, let's get in. And a couple streams ago, you and Dane talked about doing some creative financing and finding some creative ways.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you that I've got my hands on a lot of extra money in a lot of creative ways, and we're going to make a huge splash so that things turn out bigger and better than we had hoped.
Boy, that is excellent. I'm happy to hear that.
So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
Can you share some of the ways that you've been able to create more money?
Sure. Yeah, so one of the really cool options, and this comes with a little bit of risk. So, of course,
that's not financial advice. That's what we do here. We're speculating.
Absolutely, never financial advice, but my risk portfolio and profile is rather high, so I'm cool with it. So I'm a business owner, and I'm an entrepreneur. Getting approved for 0% APR business credit cards is really, really easy. And so I've effectively gone and secured an extra like $150K over the last, I don't know, couple weeks.
Wow.
So I'm just waiting for those cards to show up at my house so I can go and I will not talk about the strategies used to put it in. How about? That doesn't matter, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to be putting a good amount here in the next, I don't know, a couple weeks to a month. We'll see, just based on how things move. And likely going to go into the Pulsex and Ink farm and do that as it goes sideways. And
nothing wrong with it.
And then kind of go that way. Yeah, so super simple, really, really easy. I've went and gone and cleared up some of my credit profile and credit report stuff with the advice of some professionals. So that's been really great. And I can't tell you, it has been so slick and so easy that you just apply it, and within 30 seconds, it's like, yep, you're approved for 30K. Yep, you're approved for 40K. Yep, you're approved for another 20. You're approved for this. You're approved. It's like, it's crazy.
It's a great strategy. I did it in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. I did a credit card stack, and I got access to about $300,000 from a credit card stack, and I used that for marketing in my beginning of my real estate journey. I ran all my PPC marketing through the credit cards, and of course, I'm paying them off as I'm going along from the business. Man, I was flying everywhere for free. I was getting cash back like crazy. I mean, the benefits you get when you're running that kind of volume through credit cards is insane. And even just keeping a line open there is a good, man. If you say you pull out that 150 and you're keeping that line open, the points that you're going to rack up on a 0% interest too.
Yep.
Now that will end, and you just got to be aware. And as the risk comes in that you know there's an end to it, but still during that time period, you're racking up crazy amount of points. You're able to utilize that money and tap into that liquidity, and hopefully, right? Like the idea is there, all you need, Gingerbread Man, is a 2x, right, or a 1x. Right. You pay the credit card back, and then like the rest of it's moon money. It's moon money at that point, right? Like it's free money.
So depending on the card that I have, it's between 12 and 18 months that I have 0% as long as I pay the minimum every month. Which depending on the card, it's like 1 to 2% of the overall line of credit that you pulled out.
Cool.
And but I'm good with it. And let's be honest, my risk portfolio is way higher, so I'm not pulling it out on a double. I'm waiting, and then we'll move past the rest.
Maybe you should share some of this information with the liquid loans team so they could get some money and then start making that bloody thing moving and working.
They don't need any more. They don't need more.
Norbert, they got $50 million.
I know.
Like, what do you want, man? Like, you give them more money, they're just going
to. It was just such a good story for Ginger. I was trying to come up with like a good catch. I was trying to poke them. Like, come on, do something.
All of that. But hey, they created a good product, man. I do believe they have a good product that has product market fit, but they could have done some things a little bit differently, like provide liquidity for your token. Come on, guys. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man, that's awesome. That's an awesome story there, Gingerbread Man. I'm so happy for you. There is creative ways out there. You can tap into liquidity. Obviously, there is risk that's associated to it. One creative way that I also tapped into, I did this during my entrepreneurial journey, and I still have this line open, but I did a HELOC on my house because I have a lot of equity in my initial house that I bought back in 2013. It was the first house I bought. I lived in it for a long time. Right now, I'm renting it out. But like I put a HELOC on it, and that HELOC got me access into about the same amount of liquidity there, Gingerbread Man. And I also used that. I used to I would pull the HELOC money out. I'd go flip a house. And then once I was done flipping the house, I put the HELOC money back. That's what's so great about these loans. It's like your credit card debt where you can pull the money out and put it back in and pull it back out and put it back in. And when the HELOC is not out, you're not paying any interest, just like a credit card. When you got the HELOC out, you are paying interest, but it's a very low. It's like I think I'm paying like 6-7% because it's collateralized by the house. So the banks, they don't mind handing this money out because they're backed up on the second position of the mortgage. So it's a great way to tap into liquidity. That does not. I mean, obviously there's some risk, of course, right? If you don't pay the HELOC back, maybe they foreclose on your house, but then they have to foreclose in the first position. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes with that. But it's a great way to tap in if you guys got a property and you got some equity in it. If you guys have never done a credit card stack is an amazing way to tap into liquidity in like a year time frame. And I know people who will they'll credit card stack, they'll have that year of liquidity, and then they'll rinse and repeat it again after those 0% APRs come back up. When they come due, they'll rinse and repeat these credit card stacks, and they just keep a line open with 0% APR, and they can keep that money out and put it back in, whatever they want to do with it, right? However you want to work the money, be responsible with the money, of course. I mean, I think crypto is responsible for me and my money, not financial advice. That's responsible for me, but that's a great strategy. And I know entrepreneurs who roll that strategy over and over and over and over again. It's an amazing, it's amazing. So cool share, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that's a good idea, guys. It is if it's done responsibly. Just understand how to use that. I mean, the wealthiest people in the world got wealthy usually because of debt, whether it's business lines or, real estate lines. Just be careful. But yeah, I mean, if it's used correctly, you can make a shit ton of money. It's called OPM, other people's money. Use them to create your wealth, to create your business. Maybe get rich in crypto. I don't know. It's never financial advice, but that's an idea that you can deploy. And I'm interested to see how your journey turns out, Gingerbread Man. Keep us in the loop.
Well, and admittedly, it took a good bit of work just to get everything kind of my ducks in a row. So
Right.
that when I went and applied, I was, more likely to be approved. So I would, before, if once again, not financial advice, but if that's something that you're interested in, I would go and talk to somebody and make sure your credit stuff is all in line before you go and apply. Because last thing you want to do is go and apply and you get a bunch of things on your report and you don't get anything from it.
Yeah, it just hurts you at that point. If you guys know that you've got stuff there, or you need to go look and see if you do, there's things you can do to clean that stuff up. I mean, I'll give you one story. So when I married my wife, she had a credit hit on her on her credit profile because of her last husband. Basically, I think sold and scrapped the car. I think he scrapped it, sold it off in pieces before he left back to China to try to get some liquidity to get out of the country. And then there was a loan on it, and that car loan rolled over, of course, onto my wife's credit, but she had no idea where the car was at, or it was just MIA. And so we had to file a police report. And we had to do a couple other steps. So we had somebody advising us. We had a professional kind of walking us through the steps. But I got her credit cleared of that. It was it got taken off, and now she can apply for a credit card if she wants, and she can do whatever. It gives you that capability of tapping into some more liquidity. Just do it responsibly, right? You don't want to go get a bunch of credit cards and go to the Louis Vuitton store like Richard Hart. Richard Hart's paying cash, guys. He's not paying that on his credit card, right? So you don't want to do something stupid like that. But if you're doing responsibly, man, God bless your heart. Use debt responsibly. That's a great way, man. So, yeah, you guys. That's one way to do it. You can clean up your credit. Yeah, good advice there, Gingerbread Man. You got to make sure your credit's decent when you go applying for these lines. Plus, you can get more, even if your credit's mediocre. Maybe you're in the, I don't know, high 600s, low 700s. Try to get it up more before you go apply. The higher you are, the more of a line you can get.
Yeah, so. And while you were saying that, Corey and Gingerbread Man, the cool thing about what you've done is I'm going to speculate that by having so much money that you can borrow against, it gives up your degree of attachment to whatever you're buying. Does that make sense? You're not attached to how this thing works out, so you have more freedom. So I was just thinking about this. I'm like, how would I do this? And I'm like, I would try right now to just take 10 grand to 50 grand in a couple of weeks,
right.
And do that and go, oh wow. Now I only borrowed $10,000, and again, none of this is financial advice, but it just be fun. I put a position in on Cheddar. It's a meme coin, right? And I feel like that coin is going to do a 10x over the next couple of months. So I just put it in, and I thought, what the heck, it looks like the bottom's in, but you could place some pretty good bets right now if
right now it's time.
Yeah. Looking at the charts.
Go shopping, bro. Go shopping.
Yeah, go shopping, getting confirmation, from Sprackburger or DYI or Axis or
Hans.
Yeah, Hans. Any of these guys, you don't have to do the work to look at it from a chart analysis standpoint. So other people can do it for you. And anyway, just thinking out loud, I'm just like, that's exciting. You have all this leverage, and you may not even need to use it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and there was something that Dane had mentioned a couple streams back, and he said, are you positioned in a way? And maybe Corey, you've mentioned this too. Are you positioned in a way where you don't need 100 or 1,000 or 10,000x to go and make a big splash? And I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm positioned in a way that I'm happy. Like if I got a 10 or 20 or 30, like I would be happy, but it's certainly not where I want to be. I was like, all right, well, I got to go a little harder then. If I'm going to go, I got to go a little harder. And here's another little backstory sort of thing. I probably put like 1 or 2 months of just pure dedicated research before I went and did anything. So I want to make sure that I got my ducks in a row once again and everything squared away. So once again, not financial advice. If you're going to want to go and do that sort of credit card thing, I mean, definitely put some time in and talk to the right people. Maybe some of the best advice I've ever been given is talk to people that are richer than you, that are better off than you, and that have done it before, instead of going to talking to another pleb that doesn't know but may have some information from the internet. Go talk to a professional to get your ducks in a row if you want to go do that. But I'm telling you, I'm excited.
I love that. I never take advice from people who are broker than me. If you have more wealth than me, I'll listen to you all day long. That's great advice there. And also, you know, the credit card stacking, man, it's a great strategy. And I would say, you know, this is widely used in the entrepreneurial world. Like it's well known. So it's not like it's something that came out yesterday. So it's a thing. You guys can do a lot of research on this stuff. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of guys you can talk to who will be able to provide the info that you're seeking and needing to see if you even can do it. And if you can't do it, it could be your opportunity to go and clean that credit up, right? Like why live your life with a credit score of the low 600s, high 500s? Like that's, man, I strive to be at 800. I'm just a tad bit under right now. I should be over it again here by the end of the year. But man, you know, that way I can tap in whenever I need to, right? It gives you that flexibility. You know, you never know what life's going to throw at you, whether it be more winners, right? You want to be ready for winners, what we talk about all the time, or preparing for the summer. And that's what Gingerbread Man is doing right now, man. You're preparing for the summer, and you're right, man. Like having the exposure, you learn it from Sami. There's other influencers who talk about it, guys who I trust and listen to. You know, if you want to kind of lock your way in on this cycle, well, it's not by trying to find 1,000x. It's by going in and having enough exposure where a 20x, you know, can change the trajectory of your life. You know, maybe you get lucky and get a 50x, and then it's like, oh my God, that's just the icing on the cake now. And now you guys are all flying out to Puerto Rico because we're going to hang out on yachts, right? But like, you know, that's a great way to think about your portfolios. How can I get a little bit more exposure so that way when the upside potential comes, you know, it's going to change your life in a very drastic way. You know, I think there's what was I watching the other day? Somebody did a stream where if you have a full year income, I can't remember. I'll have to find it. I'll find it and we'll talk about it next week. It was a great stream. It might have been Sami who did it. He broke down like where you want to be at, what you know, you should have 20 years of living expenses after this crypto bull run. And how does that look like where you set yourself up for a 20-year living expenses? So that way, if you wanted to go start a business, you could literally go quit your 9-to-5 because you got a 20-year runway. Maybe you're using some of that 20-year to start the business, right? Maybe you're using some of that liquidity, but like you have this runway to go.
No, he was saying, yeah, you're right. He was saying that if you have like, if you put in 1 year of your income, then you make a 20x, which is
it's 1 to 5 year. Yeah,
yeah.
And I'm shooting for a 5-year of living expenses. That's why it's living expenses. So whatever your living expense is, whatever you calculate, you want to try to get to at least a 20-year runway. Right? That would be great. Like for anybody, like you have so much freedom and so much, you know, power to go do what you want in life. If you have a 20-year runway, I mean, think about that. And if you can get longer, great. But like, and obviously one way is to get that 1,000x on one of these amazing coins that we're in. But I don't want to bet on that. Like, I'd rather be like, okay, if I get a 20x, how does that look? How's my portfolio look? Oh shit, that gives me 10 years, it gives me 15 years, it gives me 20 years, whatever it is, that number. And I want it to be able to, you know, change the trajectory of me and my family's tree. I tell people all the time, you know, I believe every family tree has one person that was placed by, I believe in God, you can believe in the universe, whatever you want, I believe in God, but I believe God places one person in every family tree, the generation of people put in your tree. One person is placed strategically to break the curse of mediocrity, right? But the curse of mediocrity of 9 to 5, working the normal,
Love that.
everyday grunt work of 401k plans and all this other stuff that we do. I believe there's one person put strategically in your family tree to break that curse, the mediocrity curse. Is it you? That's the question. Is that person you? And can you use crypto as a tool to accelerate and do that? So maybe crypto, this will be your tool to get that 20-year runway. And now you can go build a business that makes $1 million a year. I mean, whatever it is, I don't know what, your vision is or what your goals are. But think about some of these things as you're moving through your crypto journey. It's not about just, when's the next 1000X? Moon time. Like, okay, yeah, that part's fun, but that's not all of it, man. That's not all of it. And that's what a lot of the guys on, crypto Twitter don't get, but that's not you guys in the audience. I know that. You guys in the audience got the entrepreneurial mindset that we talk about every day here on this show, man. You guys got me on a rant there.
Always fun. I always love to listen to your wisdom. Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, no, what's interesting too is going back to like Gingerbread Man, you probably had to get in integrity with your finances like you've never done before. And one time, how good could crypto get if you're in integrity with your finances?
That's great.
I mean, how about that? I mean, just balancing your checkbook, just paying, just renegotiating something. I renegotiated. Yeah. I renegotiated 2.75 interest rate on my house in 2020. Is that amazing or what?
Sexy.
So that's like I rebought my house again, so for a cheaper price. So essentially that's what I did. So, hey, we got the man, the myth.
We got Dane, the man. He's back. Look at that. He's back in the real hopper. That's the Puerto Rico hopper. I recognize that office. He
Hey,
must be
guys.
a treat for me. We were talking about breaking the curse of mediocrity, man.
Well, and what you said, Corey, little known fact, I may or may not have a brother that's on the panel here, and I'm trying to freaking beat him to that. I'm trying to beat him to that and be the one.
You're trying to be the one person that God put in your
I'm trying to
family.
be the one to lead, man. I'm trying to be the one to break the mediocrity. Hopefully I can beat him.
I love it, bro. Hey, there's nothing wrong with two people in the family tree out there hustling and bustling and breaking that curse, man. That's what
We're losing you.
I already broke it, Dylan. That ship is sailed.
Hey, the definition of competition is to seek together. So, you can seek together.
That's great. Dane, your internet is wrecked.
He might need a contract with Skynet.
He's back in Puerto Rico, and that internet is wrecked, man. Look at that. He's frozen. Oh, man. Yeah, this is good stuff, man. And yeah.
Connecting to your previous wisdoms and the way how Gingerbread is expressed his journey, it should be motivating for everyone, because the problem with the people these days and the majority of the people in crypto have this kind of mindset, that I won my 100x yesterday.
I won their 10,000x.
But you look at Ginger, I'm sorry, Ginger, what is your real name, if I may ask you?
He's out, man. He'll ask him to dox himself.
Gingerbread Man, bro. Come on now.
Okay, Ginger. Okay, Ginger.
He would turn his camera on if he wanted to do that.
Yeah, of course. I don't want to. And it takes a lot of time and effort to do these things. Recently, I listened to a podcast, and I highly recommend you to check it out. It's between Casper SMC and one of his guests who became an owner of a prop firm, trading company. And they were agreeing on one thing at the end, that every individual on earth should focus on getting first 100,000 of their own currency, ideally dollar, euro, or pound, something which is valuable, on their bank account first. and that should be the main target. Because I even noticed myself, when you go through these steps, you think completely differently when you have 10K on your bank account or 50K or 100K. You know, like I haven't reached 100K yet. I reached 50K this year, so I'm kind of happy.
Congrats.
Thank you. But yeah, and also, you know, it's, as soon as you do that, so until you reach that point, just as a non-financial advice, a friendly advice, investing in yourself and keep learning and trying to absorb and do something else, add another layer to your life, instead of you know, like be disciplined, instead of, oh, I do it tomorrow. No, do it today, man. Today is the day, you know, right now. If you have time to go to the gym, even if it's 15-20 minutes, oh, I want my 1 hour session. Guess what? No, today you don't have. Today you have 15-20 minutes. Go and make the most of
do
it,
it.
and then keep doing other things. And then you attract these people, like, you know, like Frank. I'm so grateful that thanks to Corey and Dane, we started talking. Frank reached out. Hey, buddy, I really like your style. You know, why don't we you know, connect? And then, you know, I'm in the crypto mastermind course, which is like amazing, you know, to talk to all of you guys and be there. I can't stay too long because unfortunately every time is midnight for me in London, and next day you have to go to work.
Every
But
time I'm on Frank's call too, it's like it's dinner time and get my daughter ready for bedtime. So I'm always in like listen mode. It's like
yeah. At least you get something out of it. But yeah, I wish I could contribute more normally. But yeah, that's all I have to say
you
for that
nailed
particular
something
time.
there, Norbert. I want to kind of like repoint out, and we've talked about in the show multiple times. Like the biggest investment is in yourself, right? And that is, you know, read books. I read all the time. I read self-development books. I'm reading entrepreneurial books. You know, get private mentorship, join masterminds. You know, some of these things are expensive. You know, I'm part of 5 different masterminds, and they're probably on an average of $20,000 each a year. I mean, these things don't come cheap. Mentorship doesn't come cheap. Books come cheap. That's the one part of self-development that you could do and deploy now, is, you know, books, podcasts, stuff like that. Good podcasts, good content, stuff like that that would drive you in the right direction. You know, in my life, I'm always striving to get better at 4 things, and that's spiritual, you know, my relationship with God, mental, physical, and financial. Like I always want to try to get 1% better at those every single day, you know, and I'm looking for the kind of the keys to the kingdom to all 4 of those through all my, you know, research and due diligence and growing with other communities, mentors, books, like everything I talked about. So that's the biggest investment you can do with yourself, and it will pay infinite dividends for the rest of your life. Frank was talking about going to the Mike Ferry conference. I'm sure he had to pay a pretty penny to be there, but I'm sure he got way more in ROI than what he had paid to go there. Although he did put some pain in on getting back, but you saw he got rewarded with that too. And it being a beautiful story. And so this stuff, guys, you know, you are your biggest asset. Investing in yourself is the best thing you could do, not only for you, but then for your family, your loved ones, and your friends. And so, yeah, it's very important to always be, yeah. I mean, that's why we got gravitated so much to Richard Hart, because he has a lot of this mindset stuff that we cherish in other entrepreneurs, because he talks about this stuff all the time too. So.
Yeah, and Dr. David Hawkins, you know, the guy, the power versus force guy, he always said, you know, you serve yourself, you serve others, and you serve God in no particular order. But that's very simple, you know.
I will add a little bit to that. If you aren't able to serve yourself first, you're not going to be able to serve others, because it's like the old saying, if you don't know how to love yourself, you can't love another human being. If you can't provide for yourself, you can't provide for another human being. You got to be able to like take care of this first, make sure the foundation is super, super strong, and then you can move on to taking care of, like, you know, what you're passionate about. Maybe you got some, you know, passions of doing some charity stuff. Like I would love to own like sober living facilities. Me and Dane have some of the same visions on this stuff, because I come from an alcohol and drug background. I know what it's like to be addicted and go through addictions and recover from that. It would be really cool to use some money in the future to build some sober living facilities and be able to provide opportunities to guys who are trying to clean up and make their lives better, just because I've kind of been down that rabbit hole. So like, but I can't do that ever unless I make sure I'm okay. And then before and after I'm okay, I'm making sure my family's okay. I'm making sure there's generations taken care of. And then I can go out and do those kind of things, right? I was one other thing I was doing there for a while when I was doing really well in my real estate company. We were building houses from the ground up in Haiti. That was a fun,
Wow.
journey that we're doing. And it was for the people of Haiti because they're very poor there. They don't have any money. And we were building villages. Now, I was investing, or I was giving money to a charity that was already doing it. A guy named Frank McKinney was doing it. He's one of the biggest house flippers in Florida. He flips beachfront properties, and he makes millions on each flip. It's crazy. But he's the one running that journey, and that, man, it's been a blessing to be part of that. And so, yeah, what is your vision, right? What do you want? And it's not all about us, but at first it has to be. And then once we learn to love ourselves and take care of ourselves, then boom, we can go and take care of our family. We take care of our friends. We can do charity stuff, and it's just that's what stuff gets really fun and interesting.
Not to bring up the whole muscle testing thing, but you mentioned about your past with alcohol and addiction, etc.
Bro, I was a degenerate with the stuff.
That's so funny. I love that you own it. A lot of people don't own it.
I know my past, man. I was a freaking boozer, man. I would wake up in the morning and I'd start drinking, and it would last all day to the night. And then at night it was cocaine, and then it was booze in the morning again, dude. It was like, yeah.
Well, the Alcoholics Anonymous calibrates. What's up, Briz? Hey, Sprackburger. Alcoholics Anonymous calibrates at 540, which is unconditional love. So, that's a good place for people to, when they need that help, the group consciousness of the group helps heal.
Helps live and heal. Yeah. My relationship with God is definitely one of the biggest catalysts for my sobriety. But that stuff would have never happened if it wasn't for my entrepreneurship journey. So, but I'm going to stop ranting on. We got Briz Rack in the house. What's going on, Briz, man? How you doing, bro?
Doing good. Just been chilling out. Kind of took a break from crypto more or less yesterday. Like the whole day. I really wasn't on that much.
I took a week off.
Day.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm sure your ink farms are still kicking off mass amounts of ink every single day.
No, well, actually, I actually ended up canceling most of my ink farms.
Wow.
I'm earning a little bit of ink every day, but I mean a little bit. It's not going to pay off.
Probably my whole portfolio.
But the way I saw it was the ink payouts, the APRs were like 70 to 80% if I hold it for a whole year from right now. And ink, when I closed the farms, ink was at just over $2. And so I figured, I'm like, man, what is more likely? I was just thinking, I'm like, I think by this winter, I think ink could easily hit $8 to $10 again.
Sure.
And so I ended up closing my farms, getting a bunch of stable coins back, and now I've been DCA into ink for since it started pumping up from $2 up to like $3.20, and so I just figured it would just be better to buy ink and wait for a 4 to 5x by the end of the year versus farming it for a 70%, 80%, even like 100%, in a year.
What about the Ink and Pulse X farm, man? That thing is cruising along sideways, lock sync, and I mean, it's just like it's a beautiful chart if you look at the chart. And I mean, it's just moving sideways along. Now, I don't, obviously there's volatility and it can go up and down. It's never financial advice. But man, I think I have a my farm is open at. I want to lock in what during this time of like lull, right? Until we start, seeing some more risk on again. I think when we're risk on again, I'll pull it. And I'm going to pull it quick. I have like stop loss markers on my chart where I'm going to pull it. But man, that chart looks beautiful, dude. The Pulse X and Ink right now. If you're measuring Ink to Pulse X, that is.
The one farm I didn't shut down was my Pulse to Pulse X farm. I
don't like that farm.
I'm happy with either one.
Yeah, but I want to your point earlier. I want more of the coin that's going to moon. And you lose that ability when you have like a Pulse X Pulse, because Pulse X is ripping against Pulse, and it might not continue to do so. It could have a correction. Hans thinks it's going to, but man, I don't like the volatility there. I like to see stuff really locked in together, but it could work out for you. I'm not saying it won't. The APY is like 15% too. Like for me, the risk versus reward on that, I'm getting 15%, and Pulse X can absolutely smoke Pulse. I don't know. I just don't like it. But
I just don't like farming with Ink itself.
Because
if it takes off,
you value
$10.
I get it.
You're gonna have a lot less Ink.
You're gonna have a lot less Ink. You're gonna get wrecked. Yeah. I agree. I agree with that 100%. But you can also get that too in Pulse and Pulse X. Pulse X goes to the moon. You're gonna be left with a lot less Pulse X. Now, nothing wrong with holding Pulse. I love Pulse. But for Pulse to get the same amount of gains, maybe you got to wait another cycle. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating here.
A lot of people are thinking that there's going to be parity with Pulse and Pulse X eventually.
I think it'll happen shortly, but nothing stays in parity, man. Right? It'll hit, and then it's freaking something's going to get wrecked.
I was thinking in hindsight, I should have shut down the Ink farms at when like Ink was at like 50 cents.
Oh yeah.
And then take all of that stable coins and just buy the Ink. And then
move.
Boom, could have had like an extra 12x, and then I could have reincorporated the farms again. And I'd have way more Ink and money and everything. So that's the way I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, I should have done that at 50 cents, but $2 looks like
50
really
cents
low.
Earlier, yeah.
Really low.
It's
So
still
I
a good
don't
price.
mind
Still a good price.
shutting down the farms at like $2 and then buying up Ink and then like restart the farms again when Ink is like way higher.
I love it.
The only thing, if I may add to that one, actually, that if we want to become a well-known blockchain, which gonna be a long-lasting one, then I understand that there is impermanent loss. But guys, we have to take our part in this building of the blockchain itself to make it successful. Because if we don't provide it, it's kind of like a sacrifice of ours. Like some of our wealth should be left in these liquidity pools, because if no one does it, then how can we expect other people to come, and then what they're gonna buy if there is no liquidity? Like there should be some, at least. Like I understand, and then fear again, like we should make any decision because of emotions.
You know why Ink ripped from $2 to $3? Because I pulled my liquidity.
Oh,
you're welcome.
Tell the truth, Norbert.
But I'm hoping that Ink is gonna be much higher than $3. But yeah, thank you for your service.
Yeah, what's your number, man? I mean, $50, $60, maybe at the top of the bull. Maybe 80 is the high, man. But 80, when it hit the high, you got to remember there was no supply at that time. the inflation, you know, and people
The
were
slippage, slippage would be extremely high
yeah,
at that point.
foaming
Yeah.
like crazy. Will we hit it again? I don't know. Probably. But then again, I don't build my portfolio in a way where I need that. Like man, if we hit 20, 30, 40 bucks on ink, I'm happy because of my other assets too, right? I'm not all in on ink, but I would be happy with that portion of my portfolio if we hit that number.
Hey,
and if
what-
we hit that number, Briz is gonna be flying a private jet out to Puerto Rico to hang out with me on my yacht. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen, right,
He's
Briz?
gonna land on your yacht.
No. I'm gonna be the same old Briz eating tuna out of a tuna can in my apartment.
With no money in his bank account and telling everyone he's broke.
Cash poor.
7
What's
cats.
up with this comment from Crypto Land? WTF? Briz is actually smarter than I thought.
We love you,
Backhanded
Briz.
compliment.
Oh,
It's
man.
all right. I'll take it though. I will 100% take that compliment.
Absolutely, bro. You should come out here and visit Puerto Rico, anyways, man. I think you'd have a
I,
good time.
I would like to actually.
Yeah,
I
you'd
think
meet a
that'd
lot
be,
of you'd meet a lot of different hexagons and pulsicans out here. It's a blast. It's a blast. So what's up, Sprackburger, man? What's going on with you, dude? Long time no talk to.
Hey, I'm just enjoying the entertainment.
Yeah. What's your thoughts of charts right now and what's going on with the market and ETF and all that stuff?
That's bullish. That I like it. I mean,
Good.
we're going to see a little bit of volatility, obviously, because people are going to be getting out of that grayscale product. I got out of the grayscale product this week too. That was an awesome trade. I mean, we got a 55% discount to NAV on Ethereum, and I did some of that with a loan. So going back to Mr. Gingerbread, you know, he's right. I took a loan to get into that product, and it's like made it back. And so now rotating away from the grayscale product because they've got that 2.5% management fee that I don't care
That's
to pay,
expensive.
and rolling it into either like the Fidelity or the BlackRock. Now they did issue a mini ETH mini ETF, which is basically the same thing as like an S&P mini, where they fractionalize it by like 1,000. So it's the same product. It's paired 1 to whatever the ratio is, and that one actually has lower fees than the BlackRock and the Fidelity products. So I may end up keeping some of that. And yeah, so what else? I guess today's the Bitcoin conference, right? So you're going to see some people speaking at that conference.
Tomorrow, supposedly.
Trump and RFK and
to keep his ass
like
safe, man.
A lot of heavy hitters.
Being out in the
keep 'em
public
safe.
like that at a Bitcoin conference, man, I don't know. Like
RFK, he said last night on an interview in the Karate Combat, he said he had most of his wealth tied up in Bitcoin.
I saw that.
He did that.
I saw that.
Yeah, you should watch his interview. I think he did one with the Wolf of Wall Streets and forgot who the other guest was, but you should watch his interview because he's actually been like conviction with crypto and Bitcoin and assets for a long time. Not just the Johnny come lately. Oh, these guys are doing something. I guess I should pay attention because it helps my campaign. Kind of thing. And I'm not leaving anyone out of that equation. I'm talking just about everyone is in that boat. But yeah, RFK's got some good stuff to say. He's been the libertarian the whole time. He's been shunned by both the Republicans and the Democrats. So I think that it's a big swamp, and he's someone that I want to listen to.
Are you out there at the Bitcoin conference right now?
No, I don't go to those things.
Oh, okay.
You know the
Okay.
type of
I
type
would
of
have
people that go to
I,
those. You know the
I
type
would
of
have went
people
to it
that
if
go
my
there.
family wasn't here visiting in Puerto Rico. I wanted to go to just meet up with a bunch of Hexicans.
It would
I,
be cool to meet up, yeah. But I'm not paying all
Yeah.
that money just to meet my
No, I would
family.
have just gone and just hung out. I
Well,
wouldn't even go inside.
and it would.
I think next year. I think I'm gonna go next year. This seems like it's becoming like the next Comic Con. You know.
It is.
It's become
Yep.
very corporate. I went to it in 2020 or 2021 in June. It was okay. And then I went back again last year, and it was really different. And it was not as many people either. I
It
just
wasn't 20,000 this year, Frank.
last year, I don't know how many there were, but it didn't look like there was as many. I mean, it was a different venue, but it didn't look like that many. I don't know what the numbers were, but I do know this. If you ever want to go to the next Bitcoin conference, the best time to buy your ticket is right after the Bitcoin conference,
Yeah.
because it's, $100 or $200 or something, and then it ramps up as it gets closer to the conference. So, book it now, and it's probably really cheap versus when everybody's talking about it, and it's a lot more.
Buy some tickets now and scalp them outside.
Yeah, right.
the
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. And not only that, not only because of that, but because let's just say that price gets above all-time high next year, everyone's gonna want to go to that conference. You can
Oh my
sell your
God, you're
ticket.
right.
That's true.
So you
Yeah.
so you can do a
Whoa.
10x on your shitcoin ticket.
I love it. This is like the collective here. Just
This is why we come together, right?
leverage on leverage on leverage. We could go to the moon tomorrow.
I had an idea. I was thinking like next year, what we should do is like really go full blown cosplay and like go in there like with like costumes but have like pulse chain on the
Nietzsche.
costume
Boa.
and then just like walk around, like everyone's gonna be taking pictures and then
Are you
like,
gonna
look
dress
at
up
this
like
freaking guy.
Are you gonna dress up like the dick with butt meme coin?
No. You know what I was thinking about was like some kind of what's it called? Warhammer 40,000 type like big mech suit.
Oh.
And then I was thinking like, how do I tie that back to pulse chain? Is that maybe I can get like a giant chain and like have it like over my shoulder, but like it's like a cosplay chain, so maybe I can make it glow.
It would
And
be
like
fun.
you have like a pulse chain, and then you have like the pulse chain logo on the chest.
It's glowing.
Yeah, and then on the helmet and stuff.
You know what I can't wait for,
And,
Briz, is when you actually do this, and then somebody that was listening to the stream, you run into them that did the same thing from your idea, and you're like, wait a minute.
that would be awesome. I would love to get like an army of these pulse chain warriors at the Bitcoin conference.
That would be an absolute blast. I would.
Sorry, guys, I have to jump off. I have a few things to do. Number one, I have to buy a Bitcoin conference ticket. and number two, I have to set up as many liquidity pools as I can related to ink tokens, so that I can farm the ink instead of Brizology. All the best, guys. Nice to see you.
Norbert, before you go, you want to maximize your ROI, buy 10 Bitcoin conference tickets, not just one. Buy 10.
Oh yeah, and sell it, give it away because we're gonna be so rich. It's like, hey, you
It's
wanna
gonna
come
be
with me for the Bitcoin conference? I got some free tickets. Oh my God, you got free tickets you're such a cool guy, man. I want to hang out with you all the time.
I promise you, it will be the best performing asset of the next year. Kidding.
I hope not. I hope Pulse Chain does a little better than that.
A little better than that, yeah. I put 1 year of my worth of not my expenses, my whole income, into this bloody thing. So it's better work out well,
But it'll probably perform better than Bitcoin over the next year. I'll give you that much.
Let's see. God bless you guys. Nice to see you. I wish you all the best and see you next time.
Have a great weekend, man.
Thank you. You too, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Speaking of bear market hedges, I was thinking, I'm like, man, what could I have done to like have hedged my money in this bear market
Oh, I'll tell you my opinion when you tell yours first.
other than just like selling into a stable coin? And I was just looking at the stock performance of Apple and Nvidia. I was like, dude, over the last 5 years, Apple's gone up like 400%. I was like, man, that was a good bear market, hedge. And Nvidia over the last 5 years did 2100% because of all the GPU stuff. And in my opinion, I think Nvidia is even going to be even bigger in the next 5 years,
I do too.
simply because of all the AI stuff
AI. Yeah, I do
and
too.
all the computing centers that they're going to be building for the AI computing. Dude, I'm just thinking, I'm like, maybe in 2026, maybe I take some of my profits and just move it straight into Nvidia.
Well, Chris, I mean, if you wait till 1 year exactly after the top, you could just go all on Bitcoin too. Bitcoin, I mean, from when we crashed, the FTX crash, it bottomed at 15,000. If your whole net worth was in Bitcoin at that point and rode it up until like the first altcoin season we had at the beginning of the year, like you have fucking crushed it. You crushed the game. You crush it. If you're just a Bitcoin and Ethereum during the bear market, the bottom, once we bottom, just hold your wealth in Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's it. And then when it starts getting a little bit more around the Bitcoin halving, you start rotating a few months before the Bitcoin halving. Like, to me, that's the play. Like I saw that's exactly what happened this cycle. And from my understanding, that's kind of been every cycle leading up into the altcoin season. Like, it'd have been, dude, I'd have like 5x the money in altcoins right now if I'd have done that.
Yeah, and that's a good opportunity for everyone to actually put in their calendar, in their Google calendar, like
1 year from the top.
1 year, and once the top is in, just say in 1 year I'm buying back into Bitcoin. So you don't have to think about it.
Don't fall for any ICOs. Don't fall for any new meme coins. Don't fall for anything during that time. Just hold out until like 4 months before the halving. And then 4 months before the halving, you can start rotating into all this other stuff that's out there. But like, that'd have been the giga brain play of this cycle. It was crazy. I mean, Ethereum bottomed right after Bitcoin at 900. You could have gone to Ethereum. I remember it coasted at $2,000 for months. It was down there for months, just coasting, like almost like a stable coin. It was like a stable coin, and then it started creeping up into $3,000 range. Like, that was the giga brain play for this cycle. Like, just being in those and then rotating, 4 months before the halving. So
good data point.
I like it.
Yeah, but that year that you're waiting for the crash, maybe, you could go into some good stocks now, assuming that be careful with that, Briz, too, because if it lines up with like an economic crash too, where, you've seen all these predictions, and who knows, it's a matter of time when this stuff actually plays out. But like, if it plays out during that time, you wouldn't want to be in any stocks, obviously. So just be careful.
If China invades Taiwan, it's going to be a bad day for everyone, right?
Yeah, the final crash comes from the yield curve inversion, from the interest rates being held so high for so long. Like, something's got to come out of that eventually. Maybe it's when crypto crashes too. Who knows? I would prefer it to happen at crypto crash, where the crypto crashes, because then I can get all out of risk assets, go park it in some real estate, and chill out for a while until I think bottom is in again, right? Until you think it's clear.
I want to address this comment from Hex ESS. Says, no, Briz, we need something duplicatable. Pulse chain army shirts and bill hats.
They're just not noticeable enough is the problem.
Exactly. How about this? How about we get 5 or 6 guys to dress up in the Stormtrooper or Mandalorian costumes, and then like have like a big pulse chain spray painted on the chest plates.
That
That's
could
how
be
you-
done.
I think we
That's
need to do
definitely-
that in October in New York, man.
That would be cool in New York.
Everyone's
That-
all, please dress nicely in front of the courts.
Because we
Don't
get on the
look like-
news. We get on the news and people are like, who is this freaking pulse chain stormtrooper army people? Like, what?
Don't wear shorts and sandals into the courts, people. And when like I'm there dressed up like a stormtrooper. This is the crypto I'm looking for.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, guys, I got to wind this down. I am going to a beach party today. It's going to be some crypto people there too. I'm excited to go. My realtor is doing it. My realtor here in Puerto Rico, all he does is the crypto guys' houses. So he's got a really cool niche. Frank, you should one of these days maybe you can talk to him about it. He's a same business as you, and man, he crushes it.
Does he have any crypto?
He does. He's a Pulsican and Hetzican.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a Pulsican. Yeah, and he's hosting a beach party for all the crypto guys today. So It's funny that we still have crypto guys here on the island, even though the Bitcoin conference is going on. I'm sure he didn't think about that. I'm sure some of the guys he invited are not coming because of that. But yeah, this will be a good time. So go touch some grass again, right?
Can I close us off with the final word here?
Do it, man. Of course, dude.
I'm telling you that everything is lining up for this to be a mega bull run. I don't want to necessarily say it's going to be the best and the biggest in history, but can you just see it? Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF, not political, but a particular candidate running for president looking like he's having a little bit more momentum in his way, and he's super crypto friendly. Maybe he's at the Bitcoin conference. We don't know. And I'm telling you, like, the momentum building. And right now, everybody on Twitter, which once again, I'm not even on Twitter anymore. They're like, oh, it's going to zero. I'm so nervous. I'm just holding. I'm like, this. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible. So I cannot wait for it. Looking forward to building and buying and purchasing yachts and planes and everything else you can imagine. And well, my wife probably doesn't want to move down to Puerto Rico, but we'll come visit. Come visit, man.
We'll come out here and visit, man. I share your sentiment 120%.
And the best part is that all of that stuff is kind of focused on the two giants, is Bitcoin and Ethereum. But the great thing is that Pulse Chain is literally leverage on Ethereum. So the more Ethereum goes up, the way more Pulse Chain is going to go up.
I agree 100%. And what more Pulse Chain goes up, more Pulse X goes up, more ink goes up, right? We're going to make Briz rich as shit in this cycle.
Freaking love it.
Ink to the moon, because if Pulse does a 20x, I don't know what Ink's going to do, but it's going to be wild. It's going to be so much fun. And I believe the Pulse X maxis are going to end up winning this cycle. It's just how, it was one of the most hated by a lot of the OGs, and by a lot of the guys are saying, I remember I was in this one backroom chat and they're like, yeah, we sold all our Pulse X. Like, and they're these, they're OGs. And I'm like, oh my God. And like, it looks like the Pulse X maxis might win this one. I could be wrong. The sentiment could shift, but we also know the person who has all that ETH likes to buy Pulse X. He also likes to buy Hex, Ink. He hasn't bought too much Pulse. So that might change. I don't know, but he might want to keep Pulse a little bit lower just because of fees, stuff like that. Keeping the spear down a little bit. But I think it'll do fine. But if you get a 20x in Pulse, man, ooh, guys, gotta hold on to your shorts. I don't know.
I agree 100%.
Oh, it's gonna be 100%. So great. I am so happy I'm on this journey. Every day I'm like, I'm so blessed. I am so blessed. So cool. Any parting words, Frank?
No, just have a great week, and keep stay in action. Everybody, all of us, stay in action. Every little action you do it can have a huge result, even if it's
Agreed.
Whatever that little action is, do a little action every day in crypto.
Love it. Sprack Burger, anything from you, man?
No, just this is a good
go
time.
long.
Yeah, I'm buying right now because it's time, right? I was patient.
You and Gingerbread Man and Briz.
I didn't, yeah, I didn't buy for a while until now, and I think these are going to be like my last purchases for
For the
the rest
cycle.
of the cycle. Yeah,
Okay. Nothing
because
wrong with that.
you know we have an election coming up, and so there's that uncertainty, and markets don't like uncertainty, and then there's a Fed rate cuts coming towards the end of the year, at
That's the
least
part.
one. And so
Mhm.
yeah, this is it. This is the time to pack your bags. If you were waiting for a time, this was it. And we could go lower, but you know, yeah, I think we get like a massive run this cycle. I agree with Gingerbread. So like, yeah, pack your bags.
I like the idea that I have exposure rather than not. Like it, I couldn't imagine knowing about all this information that we know right now and sitting out on the sidelines because maybe we're afraid of the economy crashing or whatever. Like it, and then the crypto goes and does, gets to a $15 trillion market cap or whatever. I think we're at a $2 trillion market cap right now, if I'm not mistaken. You probably know better than me, Sprackburger, but yeah, I mean, it'd be wild. We surpassed like the market cap to what?
It's like 2.3.
Okay. Yeah, and I'd be hating. I'd be on the sidelines, and crypto goes and surpasses the market cap of gold, right? Like I'd be like, oh my god, what did I just do? Like, there's more risk to me and my money to be on the sidelines and that happening than the opposite, right? Like I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing the information that I know about the space. So, but everyone, that's different for everybody. It's never financial advice. You got to come to your own conclusion. You got to put your own puzzle together. You got to find the puzzle pieces out there and put them together. And you got to believe, have some faith, and you got to see the vision. And if you do, well, those people are usually rewarded.
Well, and I was going to say the same thing you as Corey. I think there's more risk at being on the sidelines than there is holding. There's so much
100%.
more risk at being left behind and just getting.
100%.
I mean, it's the old adage idea of if I could go back, I would have gone in and I would have done this and I would have changed that, and all this. And I feel like we're right there. We're right there to go in and put in and then look back and say, I'm so glad.
Do you know how many people are going to be saying that over the RH asset class, the RH ecosystem? Like, oh my God, I can't believe I sold my bags at the SEC fund. Oh my God, I can't believe I sold back in March, right? You're going to see it. It's going to be wild, man. And I do not want to be one of those guys. I'd rather go lose it all than be one of those guys.
Well, one little shout out to you and Dane. I mean, you guys have been streaming for more than a year. You've been beating the drum. There definitely has been times where I've had to go back to some of the streams and reconfirm my confidence. So, man, we appreciate you.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, and we appreciate the entire community tuning in. You guys make the show. We appreciate it so much for coming on. Hit the likes. Smash that bell notification to subscribe. Like, it helps us guys get the algorithm into the stratosphere. We want to keep bringing the good word of crypto out, bring the good word of making money out, right? Maybe it's we're going to be talking about real estate investing here in the future when we get top of the bull. Like, we want to be able to talk about this stuff with you guys, and it helps by you boosting our show now. I see there's a bunch of people watching on Twitter. I know some of that's fake, but if you're watching on Twitter, come over and hit that like and subscribe. But guys, I think that's it. We're going to log off. I hope everyone has a beautiful weekend. We're back in the hopper like normal Monday. Dane's back out here in Puerto Rico, and so we're back to normal on next week. So we'll see you guys, and we appreciate you. Peace.